Well, so the only thing that might be until now, I think. I'm Holy shit! I can't drink my water now.
Whatever you have. Popcorn Perspective. It's your host Jay and AK. Today it's only murders in the building. What was it called? Valley of the Dolls. That's kind of
Yes.
creepy and uh, I don't know, just kind of creepy. That whole scene was creepy, if you know what I mean. But what did you think of this
Yeah.
episode?
Um, I thought it was the weakest episode of the season, but it did have a lot of humorous moments, and it left us with probably the biggest cliffhanger we've gotten this season. I know we've ended two episodes with a gunshot. I still think this is the biggest cliffhanger we've gotten.
Absolutely. So yeah, this was a long episode. I think it's like 40-ish minutes.
Yes, yes.
Um, if you only showed me 30 of that 45-minute episode, it would have been the worst episode of the entire series, in my opinion. But that last 15 minutes, if you just showed me that, that would have been the greatest episode of the series.
No, I agree. Like, I'm not trying to, say anything about the first half of the episode, but I felt like it was going nowhere. It felt like that all could have been condensed a lot shorter than the 35-minute runtime it had.
Yeah, so after the gang figure out that someone is watching them at Arconia, they go to Charles's sister's place, played by Melissa McCartney. So
Yeah.
I like her. She's pretty humorous.
But I feel like
It
she was
felt
very
unnecessary.
miscasted. Because I feel like
Yeah,
Melissa McCarthy was playing like a over exaggerated version of herself. And this show is
yeah.
fairly grounded of a show. It has its perky characters like Howard and all, but it's very grounded. With I feel like Melissa McCarthy's over sitcom style humor, it didn't play well.
I definitely see what you're saying, and I just thought it really came out of left field,
Yeah,
and the it didn't really drive the plot anywhere.
it could have been this whole scene could have been done. They got a Airbnb and they're staying there for a night to think things over, or any other
Mhm.
place. It didn't. I feel like it just.
But yeah,
I've never heard
so
him mention a sister, and now we bring up he's a sister and she has multiple kids and all that.
so Mabel does the dumbest thing Mabel has done, which is tell Howard where they're going. And he tells literally everyone. So
Yes,
all three of the cast, Zach Galifianakis, Eugene
Eva
Levy, and
Longoria.
Eva Longoria, and producer lady,
Oh
they
yes, yes.
all pitch up. Yeah, that first 35 minutes, man, that was a drag. That was that whole thing with all of them is did not work for me.
It just it felt unnecessary because this show has great humor moments scattered throughout, but it's not focused on the humor. I feel like this
Yeah,
episode tried to double down on the humor, and it got kind of
very
old.
slapstick humor in a
Yeah,
sense.
it just got old
And
fast.
there was a scene with Melissa McCartney and Meryl
Oh
Streep's
yes,
character. Oh yeah, Meryl
Loretta.
Streep's character comes back.
Yeah,
God, I hate that character. I
I
really
don't know
wish
why. I don't know why
they
you.
yeah, I really wish Oliver and her broke up because there was a scene where it looked like they might break up
Okay,
even
but who do
though
you ship more, Loretta and Oliver, or Charles' sister and Oliver?
honestly, with the craziness,
don't, don't. That's just weird.
I know. No, so yeah,
Yeah,
there was a
Loretta
whole like
and Melissa
fight
sticking.
scene kind of
Yeah,
thing. It was so overly acted and so cringe. Yeah, that was like the down point of the entire episode.
I just did not understand why it was necessary.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Um, One thing is though, we do get revealed something about what's going on in the West Side, though, don't we? The Westies.
Yes. So Howard is actually doing some investigation, and he
Hmm.
uncovers, like I had mentioned last episode, that the Westies are cashing the checks of Dudinoff, which makes
Hmm.
absolute sense. Them killing him, them cashing his checks. I still don't believe they're involved in the death of
The death of Saz.
Saz. Yeah.
Um, I could see it going either way. I could see them being someone who's in on both killings,
Mhm.
but they seem to be more directly involved in the Duanoff murder. Definitely.
Yes, yes, for sure. We get the three actors, or the people playing themselves as actors, which is Eugene Levy, Eva Longoria, and Zach Galifianakis. They actually start doing the entire investigation from season one, so from the beginning, and looking at it from a new set of eyes.
I like that a lot because it's kind of like, have you ever just perused the Reddit page for Only Murders in the Building?
Ah, duh.
People literally are posting stuff like season 3, season 2, still trying to uncover certain
Yeah,
things. So it kind of plays into that mindset like, hey, we're going to play like you guys and see if we could fix some of our plot holes and stitch things up, which I
right.
think is very smart.
And that then leads to someone has been wanting to deal with a gang since season one. The I'm watching you
Hmm.
posted on the door, and then the poisoning
That's
of
Jen's
Oliver's
door.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of these little breadcrumbs that haven't been flushed out. So I'm watching season two of Only Murder in the Building, and someone actually re-mentions the poisoning of Oliver's dog, and Oliver actually looks confused. He's like, "Oh shit, yeah, I haven't figured that out yet."
Wait, who mentioned it?
It was so we get Oliver's character interacting with not Melissa McCarthy. He's interacting with Amy Schumer in season two. So Amy Schumer is the one that points out, "Hey, wasn't your dog poisoned? I was listening to your podcast," and that's what makes him click. It's like, "Oh shit, yeah, who actually poisoned my dog?" So it
Yeah,
feels like this entire thing is someone has been really targeting the gang since season one.
yeah, and I'll be honest, I forgot all about the dog being poisoned from
Yeah,
season
same.
1, and it makes you think who's the only character that we've gotten every season since season 1? Howard.
Howard.
I know, it's such an odd pick, but it only makes sense. He's been around since day one, and he had previous banter with them before.
Could
Who
it
knows what
be as
happened?
obvious as Saz's and Charles's ex um, from season
Jan,
one, Jan? Could it
but
be as obvious as
Jan,
that?
Jan and Charles, they were dating throughout season 1.
Right, but what's to say
Was
she
it?
didn't poison Oliver's dog to stop them making the podcast? Because she
Oh,
picked,
because of, yeah.
yeah, she picked Oliver instead of Charles because maybe she already had like this thing with Charles, like she
Hmm.
wanted to start something.
That
It
could be
could be.
interesting. It could be interesting. But yeah, and wasn't the note on Jan's door?
Yeah, it was.
Hmm. That could be interesting. Yeah, because Jan and Howard are the only two recurring characters from season 1.
Yeah, or do you think it's a super fan that's been wanting to get into the group? Because remember they had a group of like three or four super fans from season
Oh
one?
yeah, what happened to them?
Yeah, I don't know.
I remember that was funny. That those episodes were hilarious.
Yeah.
But no,
So it
that's
just
a
broadens our
yeah.
horizon of who it could be, and I think that part is fun.
Yeah,
But I
I think we're
think you and
looking too
I,
narrow all season. We
yeah,
were looking at people we've just been introduced to,
yeah,
and it just makes it more complicated.
yeah, exactly. I think Dudinoff was killed by the Westies,
Yeah.
but is there a second or third killer?
Are you
Because
talking about
lifting the
like in
body
regards of Dudenoff or like in just regards of Saz?
Saz, because someone had to get over to Saz to Charles's place, clean up, lift a pretty tall body to the incinerator. So,
The reason why I could still see it being the Resties is somebody would have to have access to Dudanov's place, and we know they
mhm,
do. And they know that nobody like inside that complex is going to complain about a broken glass window due to a bullet crack because nobody lives there. So they have
okay,
multiple different reasons to use that room to have a snipe lookout of the east side. Now,
right,
why was he targeting Saz or why were they targeting Charles? We don't know yet.
yeah, yeah. That last 15 minutes of that episode really did open a lot of theories and
Yeah.
opportunities. Um, I think for me, it comes down to who probably has enough motive from every season and who's always trying to integrate themselves into the team. A lot of times it's forced. That really does
Hmm.
come down to Howard.
That's what I'm saying. It just I feel like he'll be the best unsuspecting suspect.
Right.
He's been under everybody's nose this whole time, and he's just been just planning his motive. It'd be very fun if that's him.
It would be. I do like Howard though. I would like to see him for
I yeah
season
I
5 or
yeah
whatever.
yeah they already greenlit season 5, right?
Yeah, yeah, they did.
Oh, nice, yeah. But outside of that, was there anything else on this episode that caught your eye?
For such a weak beginning to have such a strong end, I still have a lot of faith in these writers, and I think it's going to be a fun last few finale episodes.
Yeah, I feel like the whole Melissa McCarthy was all mostly ad libbed. That's what it felt
Hmm.
like, which it's fun if you can ad lib on the rim and make it go with the show. That's pretty badass, and it's
Yeah,
fun to watch. But I just don't think it landed this episode.
yeah, I don't think it did.
No. Overall, I'm very excited to see what comes next. This season has been a highlight of my week. I just love the show. It's fun.
Yeah, same. And if you guys have any theories or people were missing, maybe from season 1, I recently watched it, so that's why I'm like, I don't know if I'm really missing too many. But yeah, if anyone thinks they have any theories, definitely put in the comments. We'll shout you out.
Yeah, thank you so much.